Hey guys, it's Joe with Modern Survival Sense. This is part of my ongoing test of a couple of different fire starters, or fire tinders rather, emergency fire tinders. Basically, this is the uh, fire patch, the Sure2Burn Fire Patch from Char-Broil that I've had. This particular patch, as I refer to it, I've had in my possession for I want to say 2 years, 3 years maybe, something like that. And I just recently opened it about 3 weeks ago. And then we have this, and this is that zip fire starter I just recently got, and it has also been out in the open for about 3 weeks. Just over 3 weeks actually, and I've been keeping it in here because the damn thing is just stinky, and it still is. It stinks of kerosene. So if you ever do decide you're gonna open one up and keep it for any length of time, go ahead and put it in something, because otherwise it's just gonna stink everything else up. And also be mindful, like I said, this thing, it stinks of kerosene because it is infused with kerosene, so you don't want to put it near any type of heat source that is that presents a hazard, a fire hazard. So you don't want to do that. Now you notice I'm wearing gloves thanks to a mindful viewer. I don't have the latex gloves on I had before. This is something I just wanted to show off. These are high flex gloves by who makes these? I'm not even entirely sure. I can't remember. Ansel? Is that right? Something like that? Yeah, maybe. Alright, so I'm familiar with the high flex gloves and also the maxi flex gloves. They seem to work out very well. They're not too thick like, say, those mechanics gloves that people rant and rave about, right? And it seems like you get pretty good dexterity with your hands, and it's pretty good protection, at least from cuts and abrasions, and you got some really good grip there. So anyways, a little plug for those. That'll probably be in a bug out bag in the near future that I'll post. But the point of this video is I just wanted to go ahead and test these out again to make sure that they are still working as advertised. I'm going to do two different tests. I'm going to see if I can find a small piece in here and see if I can just light it that way. Actually, it's really not going to make any difference because I don't light them that way anyways. So what I'm going to do is I'll just go ahead and take a chunk off of one of them that's inside the bag, and we'll see if that lights, and then I will do the same thing for the zip fire starter. So like I said, 3 weeks. This is the 3-week test. Alright. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say, normally you're not going to have these exposed to the elements for 3 weeks, but it's a good idea to test this type of stuff out so that you know well in advance. And that's why I want to do this. So I'm just going to take a chunk off of this, right, and put this piece, for future reference, back into the pouch. And it has been just sitting out just like this, not in any type of container. So if something was going to evaporate, it will have done so. So my normal way of doing this is I want to cut this up. Now naturally, this contains chemicals that you do not want to ingest. So if you want to, see, you can crush it up like that. See that material, or that you see that moisture that's down there underneath what I'm cutting? That's a good sign. That means the fluid, or the material, the flammable material, is still potent, potentially. Hopefully potent enough to light, right? Let's see how long this thing lasts. Okay, again. Now the reason why I use the Light My Fire steel is because it doesn't produce as many sparks as some of my other fire steels or ferro rods. So if I can make a fire with this, I know I'm going to be able to make a fire with my other ones. So here we go. One real spark. There we go. And that's pretty impressive. Like I said, this has been sitting out for literally 3 weeks, over 3 weeks. I'm going to keep testing this until I either run out of material or it stops working. As you can see, that's a decent flame. It's pretty impressive. Now the other one I'm going to be testing is, like I said, the Zip Fire Starter. This is a newer one in my collection. Come on. I'm going to take just a chunk of it off. That's probably way more than enough. And I'm going to store it in the Altoids tin. Now, I'm not keeping it open like I am the fire patch, so that's something to take note. I am keeping it in the Altoids tin. I would test it out in the open, but I don't want that in the air because it does smell so bad. So that'll be close enough to open for me. I'll rotate this around, chop it up just a hair more. Now I'm noticing that there's no residue underneath this material. Or if there is, it's very, very little. So I don't know if this is going to light or not. And if this is your first time watching these, the reason why I'm chopping this up so finely is it makes it easier to accept a spark from the ferro rod. Okay, let's give this a go, shall we? Well, that was pretty much without any type of issue. I'm pretty surprised. Now that is really sooty. Good thing I've got the fan on for that. Alright, this is the 3-week test of the Zip Fire Starter and the Sure2Burn Fire Starter from Char-Broil that you can have at your local hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot. I think Home Depot's where I found them normally, but they're about $3, $4 for 12. And Zip Fire Starters are pretty cheap as well. I have links in the description if you're interested in those. I will be back in a week to test them out again to make sure that these very same items are still working. Alright guys, well thank you for watching the video. I do appreciate that. If you liked it, if you wouldn't mind, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you have any ideas of videos that you would like to see, post them in the description or in the comments below. I guarantee you I do look at those. Until next time, this is Joe. See ya.